Imagine a battlefield where even the simplest piece and move have a purpose, and two minds collide in a test of intellect. Stories and poems could be written about the pieces played on the black and white squares. Despite there being only 16 pieces on the board and the basic rules being simple, the infinite possibilities make the game incredibly complex, with your intelligence being the sole factor between winning and losing. This is chess and its centuries-old story. Welcome to Encyclopedia Historia. In this video, we will explore the history of chess, a game that represents the clash of minds and intellects. For nearly 1,500 years, chess has been a game used to demonstrate strategic abilities, human relationships, and of course, intelligence. The first written records of chess appear in the early 7th century, though its origins are believed to date back to 6th century northern India. According to legend, after the youngest prince of the Gupta Empire was killed in battle, his older brother wanted to explain what had happened to their family. He created an 8x8 board to represent the battlefield on a wooden slab and used small figures of elephants, infantry, cavalry, and chariots to symbolize the units. Little did he know, this board and its pieces would later evolve into a strategy-based game. The game that emerged was named Chaturanga, which in Sanskrit means 4 divisions or 4 units, referring to the military forces. Although chess was invented in India, it received its modern name and much of its terminology from the Sassanid Empire, where it was played extensively. As the word chaturanga passed into Persian, it evolved first into shatranj and eventually into chess in English, deriving from the word shah, meaning king. While the game spread and developed among the Sassanids, it was discovered by the Arabs during the Umayyad conquests of Persia in the 7th century. Initially used by commanders and nobles to learn and develop military tactics, the game was eventually adopted by Arab literature to describe human relationships. Phrases like being sacrificed like a pawn or sacrificing the queen for the king became common in the poetry of that time. As the game grew in popularity, it attracted the attention of travelers visiting the Arab world via the Silk Road. For these travelers who engaged in discussions about literature, philosophy, and science, chess was seen as a game encompassing all these fields. Unlike backgammon or dice games where luck plays a role, chess's outcome depended entirely on the player's skill. Impressed by this, travelers spread chess wherever they went. Its fame, carried by trade routes, spread to different regions around the world. Before modern universal rules were established, chess was often blended with local games in the regions where it was played, resulting in different rules and pieces at first. For instance, when chess reached China, the pieces were placed on the intersections of the lines, much like in the famous Go game, rather than inside the squares. In another example, the great strategist Timur expanded the board to 10 by 11 squares and added a new piece called the fortress. As chess spread rapidly eastward, it also made its way westward to Europe through the Moors. After the Iberian Peninsula was conquered, European scholars visiting the scientific and artistic centers of Cordoba and Granada discovered chess, bringing its knowledge back to their own countries. By the 11th century, chess had fully spread across Europe, and it was even taught in schools for the nobility. During its spread, both the game and its pieces evolved in Europe just as they had in the East. Elephants, which didn't exist in Europe, were replaced by bishops, while the king and vizier, representing the head of state, became the king and queen. By the 15th century, chess had transformed into the game we know and play today, with its rules becoming standardized. With the rules now fixed, players began focusing on opening moves and offensive-defensive tactics. The rise of the printing press in the 16th century helped spread books on chess theory and strategy to the masses, increasing chess awareness. Games became more intense and competitive. By the 18th century, chess had become a shared value, much like coffee, spoken of and enjoyed by everyone, from nobles to commoners. However, during this period, chess was viewed more as a test of bravery on the battlefield than a pure contest of intellect. By the 19th century, this perception shifted, and chess became a game of logic, where each move was meticulously calculated. The grand, yet unnecessary sacrifices of pieces in earlier games were replaced with strategic moves, where even a single pawn could be critical. In the 20th century, chess came to represent the pinnacle of intellect and reason. Ironically, the symbol of logic itself became a pawn in international politics from the 1950s onward. Just as both sides of the Cold War used various arenas to assert their dominance, chess became another battleground. While the US won the space race, the Soviet Union triumphed in the chess race. Yet, the Soviet Union's victory didn't last forever. The unbeatable Russians were eventually defeated by a soulless machine. In 1997, IBM's supercomputer Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov, winning 3.5 to 2.5 in a historic match. In the 21st century, supercomputers capable of performing billions of calculations per second can now defeat humans in games like chess. However, this doesn't mean computers are smarter than humans. After all, the computers that beat humans are programmed by humans themselves. Today, chess is considered one of the foremost games for developing mathematics, logic, and multi-dimensional thinking. Since inception, it remains as beloved as ever. Beyond enhancing probability calculation skills, which are crucial in today's world, chess is also frequently used in literature to define social classes and personal status. Though it's often played as a tool for personal and mental development, the feeling of triumph when you outsmart your opponent is indescribable. Thank you for watching Encyclopedia Historia. If you found this video informative, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to avoid missing new and interesting videos.